Hi, everybody. I'm Griffin McElroy. This is Chris Plante, and that's Arthur Gies. We work for a website that is called Polygon. Polygon.com is a web page where you can almost read what we have. The real website is theverge.com/gaming. But we're here at E3. We just got back from the Ubisoft press conference, which we're going to talk about right now for a little bit.
So I think first off, what were you expecting from the
Ubisoft? A train wreck's not a good, because a train wreck implies like
It's sad.
It's
But
sad.
it's usually more funny.
Yeah, it's like
that it's accidental.
It's like a clown car wreck. But that implies that the comedy was
Still
intentional.
somewhat intended.
Yeah.
Because it's usually a disaster.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying.
Okay.
And what we got was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Well,
there were
Okay.
small.
We expect pockets of awful at every.
can we
press
give some
conference.
examples of previous? Last year, there was a gentleman named Mr. Caffeine who led the presentation. And he was
awful,
just the worst. There were a lot of Wayne's World goofs in there, a lot of timely Wayne's World humor.
The year before there was laser tag.
Laser tag looked all right. Don't knock battle tag. And then there's Joel McHale, who I love, and then Ubisoft tried to make me not love him anymore.
By putting James Cameron on stage.
By putting James Cameron on the stage for 45 minutes.
And not showing the Avatar
To
game.
talk about how great Avatar is. But this year we had Aisha Tyler as the host, who I think we can all
She was
agree
great.
Did a fantastic job.
That's a nice Archer reference.
Thank you. And a gentleman named Toboskis.
Tabasco sauce.
Named Probiscus.
What is he from?
He's from internet.
Oh.
He was one of two people described as mega YouTube stars.
Yeah, he's a YouTube named Tabasco Pete, and
he's a one of many YouTubes.
He did good, but he was standing with Aisha Tyler, and that's sort of a rough pairing.
She's really tall.
It's very unequal.
Okay, so let's talk games.
Let's get to the games.
Let's get to the games,
guys.
dogs.
Let's kick it off. It started off with Far Cry 3.
Well, it started off with Just Dance 4.
Just Dance 4. Sorry, we did see a performance by Florida, who I thought did a fantastic.
What was that name again?
Florida. And he did
the state?
It was the state of Florida got on the stage.
Did Tampa get their moment?
Tampa wasn't. It was Flo Rida.
Yeah.
He's a rapper, and he did a song called "Good Feeling," which you can hear in every trailer for anything ever this year. It was a good way to start it off. Did you see anything in the reel that implied that Just Dance 4 was going to have anything new other than the song Wild Wild West by Will Smith?
I saw a lot of Just Dancing.
It looks like you might be able to use the Wii U controller, the screen one, as just the system.
That's actually how whenever I dance, I like to hold an object like this and sort of.
To be
move around
fair,
with
maybe
it.
you hold it like Florida held his mic, which had a shield attached
Flo
to
Rida
it.
had a gigantic like fan as a microphone. Hey guys, we're trying to do a live video feed.
It's a live video
millions
HD.
of viewers. But yeah, I saw that there was a battle mode. Is that new for Just Dance? I'm a Dance Central man. I don't want to show my cards too much.
I play a lot of Just Dance, but I drank that memory out of my head.
Okay.
So
well, that was
I don't
Just
think
Dance.
it's that bad. I enjoy Just Dance. I'm looking forward to Just Dance 4.
Okay.
I don't hate Just Dance.
You heard it here
still play
first. Game of the Year, Polygon 2012.
So then what else? We got Rayman Legends.
Raymond?
Let's make a great bit where we say all the names of all the games wrong. No, actually, it went from Far Cry. It went to Far Cry 3. I think.
Yeah, it went from Florida to boobs.
Just straight to boobs, which was really super uncomfortable when you're sitting around a bunch of European strangers.
But not American strangers. Then it's totally comfortable.
Yeah, because then you're like, hey, Mike, because his name is Mike.
Tits.
Don't.
Oh.
Can we just call them something anatomically like scientific?
Like boobs.
Memories.
The female bosom was on the screen, like from the jump. They're like Far Cry 3
Well,
breasts.
and it's so shocking that you don't even realize that it's actually a naked woman grinding on top of you.
It honest to God,
And
it was so jarring. It took me a second. I was
Then
like,
you
her
realize
clothes look
that
weird.
they're surrounded by people
Yeah.
That was
while
the best,
this is happening.
There's like about 30 people
And
watching
then
them.
a Maori war chant starts,
Yeah.
and that's kind of a mood killer.
Is it?
I mean, it killed my mood.
Yeah, you were in a mood.
There were boobs on the screen.
Okay. It was genuinely it was off-putting, and then they came back later in the reel, but aside from the memories,
The demo was
Far Cry
insane.
3
The demo
looks
was
really
pretty
good.
crazy.
It looks
They were showing
really,
some stuff there
really
that
good.
I feel like they haven't shown before because all of the
Tiger fighting.
tigers, you were
yeah.
throwing grenades at tigers.
There's a lot of animal combat in this year's Ubisoft.
and a
festival.
lot of stabbing,
Stabbing,
and bow
which
hunting.
is stabbing and bow hunting is clearly the
Right.
theme of E3.
So there was bow hunting, which we didn't see last year. It's like everybody decided at the same time
Everyone
to put
has
bows
bow
in their
hunting.
shit.
Yeah,
and stabbing.
and so much
How
stabbing.
many people would you guesstimate got stabbed in that Far Cry demo?
A baker's dozen.
At least a baker's dozen.
As
And
many
2 tigers.
people got stabbed as I took pills of malaria medicine in Far Cry 2.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that was Far Cry 3. It looked good. I'm glad that they got outside of the whole like every trailer was about that one scene where you have to shoot your friend
yeah, that
in
one
the head
scene
or
that was
something
good
like that.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we moved on to the new Splinter Cell game.
Yeah.
Splinter
Blacklist.
Cell.
Which is a
Blacklist.
younger. I almost said Max Fisher. Sam Fisher.
Max Headroom is starring in
Uh,
the new. No, it's a new voice actor. Do we know
For Sam
who?
Fisher, no, we don't know. There's no IMDb listing for it yet. They didn't say anything. I think Entertainment Weekly, I guess, confirmed today that it's not
not
Michael
Michael
Ironside
Ironside.
Yeah.
voicing
Well,
it.
God,
It's
I
someone
could
trying,
confirm that after listening. You don't sound like you've been
Okay.
eating broken bottles.
As
your
someone
entire
pointed
life.
out to me on Twitter, previously they've like brought in Michael Ironside really late because he's got a very busy drinking schedule.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Or maybe
so
he
they
just has a
gotta
lot
bring
of
him in.
depth to his performance. He
Maybe
normally
it
talks like
could
this.
be.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe
Hey,
they
guys.
brought him back for X-Men First Class 2.
Yeah.
Family reunion
Sure.
or something. I don't know. But
Splinter Cell-
he also looks a lot younger, which
Yeah.
is weird.
He's working with co-op partners. I don't know if there's going to be co-op
So
in the
that
actual
was the other
game,
thing
but-
is that they basically said without saying that it's going to be a co-op game,
Yeah.
like in the main game, which is new.
Yeah.
Because previously Splinter Cell has always been a solo affair because
Well, there
you
was
are.
that one that had the co-op campaign.
Those are co-op campaigns though. Like the main game itself, Sam Fisher's
Yeah.
story has always been
Sure.
solo. Like
I'm-
everything else has been a side story.
Yeah, I'm also really happy that they have the Spies versus Mercs. Was that in the last? Was that in Conviction?
I don't remember actually.
I
There
don't
was
remember
there was the
exactly
co-op
that's
mode where it was more Splinter Cell-y than
Yeah.
the Conviction main game was. But
There is one thing that I'll use to tie what Splinter Cell to the next two games we're going to talk about. But Jade Raymond gave a talk at GDC that was all about how companies need to start wrapping what's going on in the real world into all their games. And she was like, and like when you come to E3, you're gonna see that like Ubisoft is really going to be investing in like stories that pertain to what is happening in the real world.
I wonder if every time we mispronounce Ubisoft, Chris Grant pops
it's
a blood
Ubisoft.
vessel.
I said
Ubisoft.
but I think that was interesting that we saw Splinter Cell, which they're saying is a Rock-Around border,
Right.
which is interesting. We have Assassin's Creed 3, which I think we can assume the 2012 setting is going to be a little bit more topical, and still American Revolution is topical.
I'm
What?
It is. I think you'll see a lot of like winks and nods where they're like, you know, we'll never fight amongst
So
ourselves.
here's the thing that
like
I wonder.
this.
I wonder if the depiction of the American Revolution in Assassin's Creed 3 is going to be less comfortable for American gamers than they're expecting.
Oh, for sure.
Because the sort of U.S. history class telling of the Revolutionary War is very whitewashed, for lack of a
It's
better
like Mel
word.
Gibson wrote it.
Yeah, it's the Patriot all the time. And that's not how things went down. Things were a lot murkier.
Scrappier.
Yeah, scrappier.
I don't understand what you're saying.
We did some gross stuff.
For freedom, though.
Yeah, and
The ends justify
Freedom
the
ain't
means.
free.
Yeah.
Like-
Woo!
Colors don't bleed.
you know, motivating factors for the revolution include wanting to keep owning slaves.
Well, don't make us high five for that, Arthur.
That's
I
not
know.
what we high five
You don't
for.
say that when people are watching.
We don't talk about our history, guys.
I do think you'll be right though. I think it'll be, and that is to lead into the last game. That is like an underlying theme of Ubisoft games in general too, beyond being relevant.
Right.
Is conspiracy theories abound. The man is always trying to get you
Moral
down.
gray areas.
It's tons of gray area.
It's not like the rock star depiction of America, which is always like this caricature of
How big and
how- yeah,
stupid
yeah.
how
we are.
effed up we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is more like everything's screwed up, but what you think is like sort of crystal clear, very clean history is not. So,
Yes, and what you think is reality is not reality.
And before
so
you
their
skip,
new Matrix game. I can't
before
wait.
you skip to the game you want to talk about, you were totally ignoring the Wii U section of the presentation.
I was gonna get to that. The Rayman game looked super fun. So
Topical.
yeah, yeah.
Topical, Zombie U.
Zombie
Topical.
U. Zombie U, awesome trailer. Zero gameplay.
Zombie U, topical. It was the Queen's Jubilee, and they played God Save the Queen.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm sorry, I just nailed it.
That's more apropos than topical, I think.
Anyway,
Call it what you will.
it was so I was interested how they took mutant Mutant Freaks
Mutant
from,
League Football?
Mutant League Football.
No, Super Freaks, Space
Screw
Freaks.
you guys,
Space
don't
Freaks
play
from
with
outer
my heart
space.
that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's supposed
Zombie
to be
Freaks,
Zo-
right?
Zombie Freaks
from outer space.
Or something like
Hey,
that.
does anybody know the name of that game, the Mutant Freaks from Outer Space? Is
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
It's Zombie U now, but we're trying to remember the old Killer Freaks
Killer
from Outer
Freaks.
Space.
thanks,
you.
Peanut
But,
Gallery.
I mean, as cool as it looked, how much better does Zombie University sound like a game? Where you just go to university and all your friends are zombies?
It's
and
like
you're
this, the indirect sequel to Clone High.
Yeah.
How about literally anything would be better than Zombie with no E and then a U?
and then a U at the end.
Yeah.
Zombwoo.
Zombie U.
I can't
That
wait
actually
to play
does sound a little
Zombwoo.
So we saw no gameplay from that, which is unfortunate. But the Rayman gameplay that they showed off looked really neat.
Yeah.
It was kind of reminiscent. Have either of you guys played the Little Big Planet 2 Move update?
No.
It's sort of similar where people can platform, across the level, and then somebody with the Move remote can move
control
things
it.
around.
It
It
does-
basically does that on the Wii U.
It makes me curious as to what Rayman Legends will be like on the 360 and the PC.
Yeah,
and
this is
PS3.
called something else because I think they referred to it as an exclusive. Because when they showed
Did they
right
call it
after
an
it, they were
exclusive, or
like,
did they say with exclusive
I don't know.
content?
That would be
Yeah, I don't
tough.
know.
That would be tough to port, I think.
and then there's the other problem of what about the putting the things on top of the screen that we saw from that leaked video?
Oh, that's right.
Sure.
They didn't, I mean, if that's real, I don't know how the hell you
Who
port
knows?
that.
The final game. Can
Final
we jump
game.
to it?
Final game.
Was that the final game?
Yeah.
I feel like
It was the final important game.
Yeah.
Last bit,
Okay.
yeah. So it was called Watch_Dogs, which you really have to enunciate the middle part because it's vital. It's Ubisoft Montreal's new jam, and it looks super neat.
that is a next-gen ass-looking game.
Okay, we've been
It's a next gen game.
okay. Chris, you heard it here
I
from
said
Chris
it.
Plant.
It's a next gen game.
He has no official confirmation of
I
this
have no
whatsoever.
confirmation, but
There's
He
no
grabbed
way
my
that-
leg during the conference and said, "The particles!" Like some
There's-
sort of mad
there's-
prophet.
There's no way that game, not as it appeared, is a current gen game.
and in many ways, not just the graphics. Like
No, it's everything that's going on, like aside from the graphics.
so much is happening.
Yeah. Anyway, it looked like a really neat, like stealth action game, and the main hook of it is that you can manipulate any electronic device in your environment with your smartphone,
Which is what comes after the smartphone in
the
the future.
smartphone.
Yes.
That's right.
Smartphone.
But there was some really weird stuff, like you were in a bar trying to identify a contact, and you were using your phone to like look up people's profiles, and you
And
scanned one person and it
they're
said they were
HIV
HIV.
Yeah, that was really
positive.
weird. And the thing is, like, some people are more prone to violence than others. Like the guy on guard duty
Yeah.
was like a reservist.
My
Some-
phone does not do that.
No, neither does mine.
No.
But my phone doesn't do a lot of things.
But there was a really cool section where you were spotted, and you're basically using yourself as live bait, and you leave the bar, and as the guy who's coming to get you is coming, you change the traffic lights in one intersection all green and
Yeah.
cause a massive car accident.
And you
which-
see a lot of deformation of cars during the crash
Yeah.
that looks real time. You see cars crumple around bullet hits
Yeah.
and stuff like that. The lighting and skin shaders just do. There's nothing like that in a current gen
The
game.
fire.
The fire.
Looks nuts, and the fire reflects in the water, which is also in real time.
And I mean, there's just things
It
that
looks
we've become accustomed
nuts.
to seeing compromised in console games. And if you even look at Assassin's Creed 3, like there's a lot of examples of how those compromises come into place, and none of those are there in
Sure.
Sleeping Dogs.
they don't really need to put anything else in that game, though, except for the traffic
Just car-
accident simulator.
Sure.
Because you might as well call that game Traffic Accident Simulator, because that's probably all I'm gonna
Wasn't
do.
that Burnout XBLA game?
Oh, that's a good point.
yeah, but it wasn't third-person action. It didn't look that good.
And it's also great that they're making a game set in Chicago, and I can't think of a single game that is.
It seems a
That
lot
is
like
from
they
there.
took the concept of what Splinter Cell Conviction was before its reboot and made it separate and started fleshing that out into
So
something different.
please don't reboot the game that we just saw. 'cause
And,
it
and
looks
one
pretty
more
neat.
thing. At the end, it pulls out and realize it's a multiplayer
Oh,
game.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody is watching you from the rooftop, giving you like a bird's eye view of the action.
Which-
And then sends a helicopter after you.
yeah.
I like to think that maybe that was like the developers tying something they want to make in, and
Yeah.
then like they're like, oh, it was in the E3 video now, so I
Yeah,
guess
so
you
it
have
has
to
to
give
be
us
there.
money
We're
for us,
gonna do
to,
it.
for us to make it now.
And that's not to say that their a version of Watch Dogs couldn't appear on current gen consoles. Splinter Cell Double Agent being an example of times when Ubisoft has done
yeah,
that.
that's true.
It will just be markedly different. Hi,
Yeah.
Apple TV.
This is my Apple TV, you guys. You want to look at some apps?
So yeah, Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. I think we covered
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
And there's no platforms listed on the Watch Dogs trailer. There were no platforms in the press release. There were no platforms on the website until
It is highly suspicious.
about half an hour after the press conference ended.
Yeah.
And that's Ubisoft wouldn't make a mistake like that.
No.
No.
They wouldn't. They've added platforms now. I think everyone here is in agreement that is what you saw is not a current gen title.
No. So that was the Ubisoft press conference. We're going to do this more for other press conferences, but thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you later. Yeah,
Well,
later tonight.
Yeah,
we're going to
you'll
sign
see
it
it.
for
You'll see us. Are we talking about someone?
Not us, 'cause we're not going,
us,
but
I
someone
guess.
will.
But, whatever. Maybe I'll be here anyway.
Yeah, watch the Twitter. Keep watching the Polygon tweets.
Keep
We're at
watching.
Polygon. Go to polygon.com. Thank you for joining us. We'll do better next time.
Bye.